Earlier this month, Azerbaijan and Turkey signed a Memorandum of Alliance in which the two countries pledged to work together even more closely in the field of defence. The two countries already cooperated in Azerbaijan's victory last year over Armenian forces, in which tensions still remain. I'm Andrew Hopkins, and I've been speaking to the Azerbaijani Foreign Minister, Jeyhun Bayramov, one-on-one. Foreign Minister, thank you for talking to TRT World Now. The Turkish president was recently in Azerbaijan, where the two presidents signed a Memorandum of Alliance in which they pledged to work together on defence. Now, they're already cooperating at a high level in the defence industry, so what's different about this time? Can you give me some examples?
You are absolutely right that the level of relations between our two brotherly countries at the highest level, and there is a very wide cooperation in all areas, in all spheres. And this new declaration, it even raises the level of relationship between our countries to the new level, and it sets up the new ground for even expanding and deepening the relationship in all spheres. As Mr. Aliyev mentioned, that the results of this document and will be spoken for the many years ahead. And this document covers actually all areas of cooperation between our countries, starting from cooperation in political sphere, economy, humanitarian, military, defense, joint, let's say, efforts in delivering, in promoting the Turkic world ideas. Also, at the same time, the coordination between our diasporas and many others. When we talk about the military component of this document, it covers the high level of cooperation in military technical sphere, at the same time joint exchange of military expertise. It's also about the technical expertise, at the same time joint military commander type of support, and at the same time there is also a clause saying that in case of let's say any threat to the sovereignty or any kind of threat to the territorial integrity of any state, then the parties will help to each other based on the UN Charter, based on the necessity, and the way they will start immediately consultations in respect of any additional military support to each other. So this is, let's say, the main features which document contains.
Also at the moment, there's quite a few comments coming from Armenian political leaders talking about retaking some of the areas in Nagorno-Karabakh. What do you make of all this? Is this, do you think, all because there's an election going on, or do you think this is something that could continue after the election, or is there some other motivation behind it?
Unfortunately, and there is a reality on the ground. And first of all, there are different rhetoric, there are different, let's say, talks in Armenian society. There might be different reasons for this. And one of the reasons which you mentioned, it might be because of the internal political situation, the political turbulence in Armenia, which is, of course, linked to the strong defeat, which was as a result of the 44 days war. At the same time, we know that Armenia now in pre-election circle, and everyone was trying to speculate during this time. But irrespective of the fact what are the, let's say, the thoughts behind this rhetoric, I believe that we should concentrate on the reality. And the reality is as following. We believe that this is realistically, this is the first time after the obtaining of independence, both by Armenia and Azerbaijan, when our countries have a unique chance to normalize their relations. Why I'm saying this about that this is the first time? Because actually this is the first time when there is no fact of occupation, because you cannot talk about the normalization of relations between the countries when one country occupies the territory of another. With the result of this war, as you are aware, Azerbaijan restored its territorial integrity based on 4 UN Security Council resolutions. 4 out of 7 occupied regions, 4 occupied regions were liberated by military operation, and 3 based on the trilateral statements. And that's why we believe that this is not an easy. Actually, there is a 30 years of hostility, the wars, casualties, a lot of consequences of this war, but at the same time we believe that we should look at the future. For us, this is not also an easy exercise because of the memory, because everything is fresh, but at the same time there was a clear call from the President Aliyev saying that we believe that there is a necessity in normalization of relations, and Azerbaijan is ready to work together with Armenia on a big peace agreement between our 2 countries. And we are offering this, and we expect the same level of political will and real steps from Armenia. Our call and our proposal is yet to be reciprocated.
Now, have you also sort of finalized your plans for what's going to happen in the Nagorno-Karabakh region now, as in terms of reconstruction, that kind of thing? And what role is Turkey going to be playing in that? Obviously, we already know that Turkey is involved in the observation center for the ceasefire. Is there going to be any more kind of involvement of Turkey?
Absolutely. The involvement of Turkey in all aspects of this situation is extremely important and significant. You mentioned about the Joint Monitoring Center, which was set up, again, based on the provisions of the trilateral statement. And this center was set up in the liberated Agdam region of Azerbaijan. And today, jointly, the Turkish and Russian military personnel, they are jointly monitoring the situation. And we believe that for the monitoring of situation, for the securing the peace in the region, this is extremely useful part of the agreement. When we talk about the plans in respect of the liberated territories, here I want to make it clear that overall our plans of Azerbaijan, the main priorities, this is of course, to secure the peace, the stability in the region, rehabilitation and reconstruction works, plans, with the final aim of returning of hundreds of thousands IDPs which were forced to leave their homeland. And this is the main purpose. We already started activity in those territories. Turkey is active, and as you know, that one of the main issues at the moment, in order to have full-scale operation, full-scale activity, this is the mining issue. There is a huge contamination of all these lands by landmines, and unfortunately for 7 months Armenia refused to submit the maps of the landmines. Only last week it was the first time when Armenia submitted some let's say maps, and last week, with the mediation of United States, with the participation of Georgia and some other international actors, Armenia provided to us the maps of the landmines relating to Agdam region. And based on their own information, based on their own maps, only in this region we are talking about 97,000 anti-personnel and anti-tank mines. So one can imagine what are the amounts when we talk about the whole region. And this is a huge challenge and task. And I want also to share the information and statistic with you. After the 10th of November, which means that after the signing of the trilateral statements, 28 killed, more than 120 wounded, only as a result of the explosion of landmines. And here we work closely with a number of countries and organizations, and the first support in this activity also was provided by brotherly Turkey. Turkey sent personnel who are engaged from the very early days in the mining activity. Turkey also supports us with the demining equipment, and this is the ongoing process. At the same time, we already started implementation of big projects in different spheres, and the first stage, this is the construction of infrastructure, the highway constructions, first out of 3 airports, international airports construction. The first airport is now underway, and this autumn the airport will be ready to receive the first planes already. At the same time, there is a concept, and Turkish companies, they are very actively involved already in construction jobs. At the same time, there is a very big perspective of in the areas of agriculture, in the area of mining, alternative energy, because these all liberated areas, they are going to be green energy zones. And in all these areas, the Turkish companies, they already started their activity, and we believe that more will come in coming future. Only for the year of 2021, the government of Azerbaijan allocated $1.3 billion for the reconstruction works in this territory. On top of this, we also should take into account the interest of the private sector. At the same time, there is also a big interest from the investors in different fields. And this is also the very good opportunity for regional and on a wider scale the countries and the companies for the incoming years.
Okay, Foreign Minister, thank you very much.
Thank you.